chattering, cold open. That would have been great.
Welcome back to the Flop and Flow Show, the show about skill toys and thriving in the messiness of learning new stuff. This week, the chatter ring.
This week, we are continuing our journey with the chatter ring. The last couple of weeks, I've been working on this. The first week, I worked on an up the arm trick, which was a challenging trick. After doing that, I realized that there was some fundamentals that I really needed to work on. It was the roll. I guess this is called a roll. And there's an out roll and in roll. There's the ladder, which is just a roll, just with different orientation. I could manage the chatter ring pretty comfortably in this orientation, where the ring is perpendicular to my body. However, I had very little experience keeping the ring parallel to my body. And so this last week, I spent my time working on this. And I thought that it was going to come pretty easily. I thought that it was just a small nuance, like, oh, I just turn the ring that way and I'll master that, and then I can move on in my skills progression. Boy, what a wonderful surprise laid in store for me. My biggest takeaway is that we've got a lot of new varieties here and new variables we have to pay attention to. Our hand position to the ring, whether it's an outside grip or an inside grip, whether the beads are on the inside of the ring or the outside of the ring. The inside grip is easier over here than it is over here. I started to realize like things are working on one side, but they weren't working on the other. I started having this idea that I might have to change the direction of the beads, whether they were on the inside or the outside. And here's my practice for the week. Check it out.
So I began a week experimenting with the ring. I knew that I wanted to manipulate it in a plane that was parallel to my body. And so I was really just looking around to see the different ways that I could hold the chatter ring, swap it from hand to hand, different grips, and really just sort of build out a profile of the different ways that I might be able to hold and or manipulate the chatter ring. Moving into day 2, I started working on the fundamentals, or what I thought was the fundamental at that point. Getting the ring so that I could keep it going with one hand and tossing it back and forth. This led to some insight. In one direction, the beads would stay on one side of the ring, and in the other direction, the beads would flip. So the swap of the chatter ring would either be a flip or a float. And this provided some interesting insight for me. So the realization of the beads flipping or floating from hand to hand, as well as the understanding that there's an outside grip and an inside grip, and sometimes it's easier or harder depending on the side of the body, I really realized that I had a lot of work to do on the fundamentals. And on day 5, I just geeked out on switching between overhand and underhand manipulation of the ring. And I went back to the ladder.
So I've spent a couple of weeks working on flips and keeping it going in this direction. I spent a week working in this direction, and I haven't even gotten into paying attention to the motion of the center of gravity and just different ways to propel the beads, right? Depending on whether you're sort of flicking it or whether you're sort of letting it drop and swing down. And I haven't even really gotten into sort of exploring this plane, which who knows what that has to offer. So I'm going to spend another week working on get a little bit more solid on the inside and outside. Yeah, well, you'll see the progress I make next week. So until next week, I challenge you to find something that you want to learn to do, something you want to learn to do better, and commit to yourself 5 minutes a day for just 5 days and see what kind of progress you can make. And remember, you got to flop before you flow.